Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screezilla here, and I hope you're all having a lovely day. And you join me today in the A29 Hudson. Now, the Hudson is a fantastic little plane. It was based off the Electra, civil aviation plane, the Lockheed Electra aviation plane, and it was basically a really good airframe for use in everything. This thing could do anything. It became the first American plane to fight for the British, the RAF. It had so many duties. It was mainly a coastal reconnaissance aircraft. It was the first RAF aircraft to shoot down a German aircraft in the Second World War over Jutland in 1939. It worked as a fighter plane during the evacuation of Dunkirk. It did a lot of things. It predominantly did a lot of work around Newfoundland as well, taking out U-boats, things like that. Very, very useful little plane, this one. I'm not here to overly talk about the plane today, though. Today I'm here to talk about the game. Yeah. This match in particular. So we'll get there. We'll get there. So, I'm in a low BR, as you can see. Just a nice low BR, just an easy game. I'm just working my way towards the Mark 6, Mark 5 Spitfire, the newish one. Just working to unlock it, really. Just something to do. So I'm just going to bomb this base, and then I'm going to take out some ground targets. I'm not doing anything too much in the Hudson. I've been flying out the Twin Vickers 40mm cannon Hurricane in a couple of matches, and that's been relatively fun. It's a silly plane. And interestingly enough, I found out that do not use HE shells in it, because they do nothing to planes. Apparently a 40mm HE shell hitting the side of a plane does nothing. So use the AP rounds. Just use AP. That's all that works. It's really weird. It goes to my hypothesis that the armor system is a bit balked at the moment. Anyway, as you can see here, we're just scrubbing altitude. Our team's going okay. There was a few early crashes, which is quite common at this BR. But the enemy team's getting an absolute pasting at the moment. There's a couple of P26s above me as well, sort of over in my area, so they're lurking around over here. So I've got fighter cover. I'm just going to go and see if I can take out some of the howitzers and things like that with the rockets on this plane. One of the things about this plane is it has a ridiculous payload. I think it's 4 250s and 4 100-kilogram bombs or pound bombs on board. You carry a ton of bombs in the bomb bay, mainly because it was, as I say, a civil aviation plane. It has a nice big fuselage, so it's got lots of room inside. You also have this beautiful turret on the back. It's the same turret that was put into the Bolton Pool Defiant, if I remember correctly, which is nice. I think it's twin Vickers guns, or it's a Vickers gun at the bottom and then Brownings at the top. I can never remember which is which. But you also have twin 7.7mm guns at the front. You have twin 7.7mm Brownings. So I'm going to try and get some rockets off here. And, yeah, completely missed my targets. You know, rockets, they don't have splash damage sometimes, so that's fun when you're fighting some of these targets. Now, I sort of get off centre here. I aim a bit too close here, and as you can see, again, just completely whiff my missiles there. Completely whiffing rocket rounds. Absolute waste of rockets. It's a little bit harder in this plane because it's not as manoeuvrable as some of the others, but this plane is pretty manoeuvrable for its size. We're just going to get some random hits here on some armoured cars, just with our rear guns. You know, the usual thing. Now, I'm flying along here and I see this downed 109, and I'm thinking, oh, I might go and hit that a couple of times. Then I realise there's a lot of AA there. Okay. No, that's right. I'll still go for it. Oh, crap. Wait, no, that's the airfield. Oh, God, this map is tiny. So I do an emergency turn and decide to run away. But unfortunately, I have been targeted by the airfield AAA now. So I am going to get absolutely hammered. And this is something else I wanted to talk about today, is fires. Wait a minute. There we go. So, we are now on fire. We have now got a serious problem. We have got both engines on fire. From one AAA hit has set both our engines on fire. As you can see, we have got a problem here. We're at low altitude as well. Now, what do you do in a fire? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Well, first of all, you panic. But when your plane's on fire, you don't dive. That's a very big misconception. There was no diving in any of the military handbooks. Any of the aviation handbooks, it never encouraged diving. In fact, it actually encouraged you to climb. Because as you climbed, there was less oxygen. So especially at high altitudes, if you climb, you're going to put out the fire. What about turning the engines off? Well, yeah, you have to... If you've got a fuel fire, you remove the fuel. Now, let's just switch to this view. Now, as you can see, our engines are on fire here, not our fuel tanks. So luckily our fuel tanks are okay. These fuel tanks might be burning a little bit, but it's mainly our engines that are on fire at the moment. So we have a double engine fire, which is not a terrible thing because engine fires can go out pretty easily. Now, in an engine fire, generally what was suggested is to wiggle your plane. So we'll switch back, and what we'll do here is we'll get a little bit of altitude, but now we'll start wiggling the plane. So turning it left to right. And what you do with this is you basically fan the fire out. You sort of cut some oxygen off, because what's happening here is on this left side of the plane, the air that's coming in bounces around and misses this engine, and basically it stalls the air around this engine so it doesn't get oxygen. So in theory it should put the fire out. Same to this engine now, and we put both fires out. It worked perfectly. Using the RAF handbook worked for the first time ever in my life. So we managed to take down an armoured car, and right now we're not too bad. Okay, let's just look where we are. Okay, we have this guy that's just crashed. Okay, his engine was buggered. He didn't have much chance. But we got two P-26s here. Now, there's this Twitch TV Sergo and Sir Kingham. I'm imagining this guy's a Twitcher. If he is, then this is interesting. So the enemy has one doe left. And this guy's taken a bit of damage. As you can see, there's a bit of damage on board, but it's not looking too bad for this guy. He's looking relatively intact from what I've seen. Slightly more intact than me, in all honesty. Okay, let's see how these P-26s go. Now, bear in mind, there's only one enemy plane left now. Crash. Okay. Well, let's see how this guy goes. Come on, you only need to kill that doe. You just need to kill that DO, that's all. And then we've won the game. Now, there's a very poor Hudson there, so you need to go and help that Hudson. Oh, okay, you're just going to turn your engine off and crash. Okay, thanks, Sir Kingham. So basically, we are now in a pickle. We are, what, about 5 kilometres out from this guy? 6 kilometres out? We're quite a bit of distance away from this guy. This guy has got a little bit of damage. But it doesn't appear all that bad from what I can see from the outside. He's losing a bit of altitude, so he's taking some damage to the engines, I reckon. So this guy just needs to make it to the airfield, and he's won. Meanwhile, I'm here going, well, crap. Okay, well, we've lost both those fighters. I have no engines left. My fuel tanks are pretty much done. My plane is... There's... Well, this bit of tail is still intact. And that end tip of the wing looks a little bit less yellow than everywhere else. But everywhere else is pretty buggered. So, I'm not looking good right here. And I've got to fight a doe. Huh. Let's see how this guy's going. Okay, his engines are going. His engines have overheated. And he's losing altitude. Oh my god. He just needs to get back to base, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. Okay. Now I've seen a slow-moving doe, so now time to go and hunt my prey. If I can kill this guy, or he crashes, we've won the game. Now, if those P-26s didn't just suicide out the game, they could have easily picked this guy apart. But luckily, and very luckily this is, for us, this guy's engines are absolutely ruined. And his engines are in a worse condition than mine by the looks of it, from the sound. So, we have got very lucky here. Now, I'm still trying to find him on the horizon. I know he's probably in that ditch somewhere. I don't know his condition, of course. But I did see he was going very slowly around this area. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he's just lurking around here and he's going to try and get me. Now, the doe does have some guns on it, so that is something I have to watch out for. It does have a lot of front guns and the cannon. So it could be a real threat. But luckily, it doesn't make it home. And the guy crashes. Oh my god. We just got through that game by the skin of our teeth. Now, luckily, he's crashed in such a way that his turret can't really hit us in this position. So, going in, just for a few extra hits here. The coup de grace, so to say. My engines are absolutely wasted, but the game is over and we have won. So, fly over, give him a little wing wag, let him get a couple of hits. But we have won that game. My god, what a victory. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, give it a like. Let me know below what you think. Let me know what you think of the Hudson as well. It's one of my favourite premium planes at this low BR. It's a really nice little plane. As I say, you have a ridiculous amount of bombs. 6 £100, 4 250s, as well as the rockets. This thing is absolutely armed to the teeth. Unfortunately, the rockets are very weak. They're only the AP Mark 1 rockets, so they aren't very good at all. The AP Mark 1s have got they've got good armor penetration, but that's it. They're just an armor piercing rocket. They don't have any explosive mass to them, so you have to be directly on target. The funny thing with these rockets, though, is when you're actually in combined forces, these rockets are absolutely bloody deadly. You can take out pretty much any tank with those rockets. So the Hudson is a very dangerous vehicle indeed. Alright guys, until next time, have a lovely day, and this is me, Screwzilla. Bye bye.